That'd be even great.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, welcome to another episode of 94 Feet Podcast. This is your boy, Big Zeke. I'm in the building with my brother, Skeesy.
What's good people?
I'm also in the building with my brother, Dre.
Yo, what's up, y'all? How you doing?
What's going on? How y'all been doing?
Man, life is good. No complaints, my brother. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. We're recording this on a Sunday, so I first want to give a real shout out to the heroes out there, the ladies, the mothers who have birthed us, who raised us, and who have done, I would say, somewhat of a tremendous job. You know, it depends on the situation, but yeah. Let's start the week off by talking about.
Real quick, shout out to the moms. Can we say that too?
Hey, man, y'all want to shout your moms out? Go ahead.
Shout out to the mothers. Happy Mother's Day.
Moms out.
Happy Mother's Day to my own mother and godmothers and all the other mothers out there from 94 Feet.
Same here. Shout out to all the mothers, godmothers, all the aunts that's mothers.
Shout out. And your daughter just had a birthday, right? Happy birthday to your daughter too, man.
Yep. It just turned 3.
Happy birthday.
All right. It's good. So, I want to start the week off by talking about the game of the week.
Let's do
the
it.
Washington Wizards versus the Indiana Pacers. It was a nail biter. Washington pulled it off 133 to 122. 133 to 132 in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of highlights from this game. Russell Westbrook tied Oscar Robertson record for the most triple doubles for a career. Ever. And then also Bradley Beal scored 50 points. Another big, but it was a big game because these two teams could see each other in the play-in tournament later on. Also, this is a big game. It was an interesting game because Washington has been on somewhat of a tear this recently, which has got them into the position they're in. I believe they're in the 9th spot. When we thought, I would say like in March and February before the All-Star break, they were looking like the worst team in the league. So it's been a tremendous, great turnaround over there. And then also, it's been an up and down season for the Indiana Pacers. They're having some internal issues with the coaching staff and the roster, but they still been able to pull through and been able to sit up in this, be where they're at. Some people thought they would be pretty higher, but they're in a pretty good position. You guys' thoughts on the game?
Well, first off, I am surprised that the Wizards were the game of the week and the Pacers in their 9th and 10th place. So I usually thought games of the week were ranked a little higher. But I mean,
usually that would be the case, but how many times are we going to talk about Brooklyn? How many times are we going to talk about the Bucks? How many times are we going to talk about the Lakers? We're covering the entire NBA here.
We're covering
from the top of the top, from the low to low.
Well, we ain't ever talked about 12 through 15, but since we're talking about the 9 and 10th team here, what I'll say is Russell will be Russell. We know that. Congratulations on that triple-double. That is what he'll be known for this season, is breaking the triple or tying the triple-double record, which he might break. He tied it, which he'll probably break before the season's over, which I hope to see him do. He'll do all that, and his team still probably won't make the playoffs. So who cares? But congrats on the record. That's huge. That's important, especially because Oscar was a center. The Pacers.
Oscar Robertson was in a center.
He was a guard.
I'm sorry. I misspoke. Whatever. Nevertheless, Russell Westbrook, I always confuse him with Wilt. That's on me. My bad. Russell will be Russell, but it doesn't equate to wins. Okay? The Wizards are still in 9th place.
You know who else is in 9th place?
You know what?
Go ahead.
I'm not going to let you keep bashing Russ like that, man. You know what?
I didn't say one bad thing about Russ.
But
your condescending tone about Russ.
Well, that's because of you. So
that's because of me.
Okay. Let's start there.
It's kind of like subliminal messages.
That's because of you, not Russell. But go ahead.
Russell has been actually putting up pretty good this season.
I don't know. I mean, he has, but Russell's not.
But why do you keep saying Russell is Russell? When you look at that roster, outside of Russell and Beal, Who can you look for anything from?
This is how you wanted to start the podcast
Yep.
today. Okay. Wait, no. I'm not. He asked me a question, so
Go
now I'm
ahead.
going to respond. When I say Russell will be Russell, what I'm saying is we're not seeing anything out of the ordinary. Russell has always put up triple doubles. In fact, that's what won him the MVP a few years ago. But Russell has not, since he's been in the NBA, since the one time OKC went to the finals and lost to Miami, which was partially his fault. Russell has not made any team better. Every team that he has gone to, no matter why, KD's left, we know, Harden left, we know, has blown up. So all I'm saying is Russie will Russ. He'll get you your triple-double.
So-
But if you're looking for him to create you a winning team or a winning culture, Russell Westbrook is not the player to do that.
So you telling me Oklahoma City has gotten better since Russ left?
What
Okay.
I'm saying, no,
So
you missed what I said.
So has Houston gotten better since Russell left?
They're the worst
okay.
team in the NBA, but you're missing what I'm
Okay.
saying.
OKC did get better when Russ
No, they
left.
didn't. That's
I
because they had
disagree.
Chris Paul, but then they let him
But
go.
he left and they got better.
And they got worse.
So
How
what
did it get worse?
so what I'm saying here,
Are they
fellas,
in playoff contention?
no.
When Chris Paul left.
The only reason the Wizards are in playoff contention is because of this god-awful play-in tournament.
No.
The Wizards are number 9.
Uh-huh.
They would not be in
Out of-
playoff
out of-
contention
out of the
without the in-play
Okay,
tournament.
listen to this. Out of the last 20 games, they have probably won at least like 16 of those.
What does that have to do with all season and Russell Westbrook's ability to make a team better?
But you also have to remember there was all type of COVID protocols that messed up Wizards' start to their season. Have
No,
you not
they messed-
noticed that?
They messed up the Lakers season. They have not messed up Russie's season.
It did.
The Washington Wizards are a team that Washington Wizards are a team that made a complete turnaround. They're one of like 2 teams that made a complete turnaround in the middle of a season. It was the Washington Wizards and Atlanta Hawks. Both teams who were like looking like the worst teams in the league, but they had a turnaround. So when you talk about Russ gonna be Russ, which I do agree with that with some stipulation as far as like him. Like Washington got Russell Westbrook for this particular moment, so they can turn around, so he can get these triple doubles, they can add up to win. Going to Kesey point, they were looking like the worst team in the league, and they had a complete turnaround. The Washington Wizards.
I have never once said or heard either of you say Washington is looking like the worst team in the league. They were looking like a disappointing team because they brought.
They had
Russell.
the worst. They had one of the worst records in the league,
bro. They did not. They had one of the worst starts, yes, but there were teams just as bad. The Pistons haven't been good all season. Cleveland haven't been good all season.
So, like I said before, they made a turnaround. Going back to Kesey point, they won their last 16 out of their last 20 games, which has put them in a position. They were never in this position. It was like they were at the bottom of the barrel when it came to the East.
All I'm saying is Russ will Russ. He's a baller. He is. I mean, I don't agree with that god-awful second greatest point guard ever crap, but he's a baller. But what I'm saying is if it had not been for the play-in tournament, the Wizards would be a lottery team and not even talked about right now.
You just said they're in a 9th position, so lottery team is kind of stretching.
No, when you don't make the top 8, you're in the lottery.
What?
All those balls go into the thing and it gets shuffled, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your chances of getting that number 1 pick might be slim, but everyone gets a chance to draft.
Okay,
but
I see what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. So all I'm saying is, first off, we're talking about Russie, but let's not forget about Bradley Beal's 50 points, and he left because he was injured, right?
He was injured.
Bradley Beal putting up numbers, but we're talking about Russ, breaking the record. I'm not impressed with the Wizards because Russ does that consistently. And
but that's what you expect from him, right?
I do. I don't say I do expect it from Russ now.
But my thing is, how do people keep saying Russ is letting them down when Russ is doing what you expecting of him?
I didn't say that. I just said
Russ will be Russ. I hear a lot of that in the media.
The thing about Russ, I think the thing about Russ is a lot of people agree with Stephen A. when he made that point as far as Russell Westbrook getting all these triple doubles. No one cares anymore because
you do that.
If you do that on a consecutive basis and you still are in the same position that you were last year, as far as like not being your team not moving forward, we're looking for the next act. Like your first act was you getting triple doubles. What's the next act in your career? I think a lot of people agree with that. And so when you talk about like you guys were like this whole thing, we started this whole thing, but just congratulating Rush. And I think that Kesey was talking.
It's a big deal. I want to preface. It's a big deal. Congrats.
It's a big deal for about 10 seconds, and then after that we like so now what? Now to think about it, I will say that the thing about this is. It's been a complete turnaround. The whole team has been a complete turnaround. So that's why it's something to look at. If they were still losing at the rate they were losing before, then I would say, who cares? But because they're winning and they've made a complete turnaround in the middle of a season, then you have to kind of look at your eye.
End of a season.
You guys are.
But you have to look at it like this. The Washington Wizards started out with their first 10 games, 2-8.
Okay.
That's a rough start.
I'm talking about before the All-Star break. They had won like 11, 12 games.
But I know. I'm saying people looking at the beginning of the season when they started out 2-8 and like, ooh, Russell ain't doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
I
Even though he was still almost averaging triple-double numbers.
Almost.
But it's like when other teams start out rough, they don't give them that hard of a time. It's like,
it depends on who it is. I think it depends on who it is and who you have in your lineup.
Exactly.
If the Milwaukee Bucks started off 2-11, we'd be like, I think as fans we would be like, okay, maybe it's time to.
We were all over the Bucks. The Bucks didn't start off 2-11, but they did.
The Bucks can start off 14-14, and we like, what is happening here? Because we have MVPs, we have All Stars. So I expect
Player of the Year.
Yeah, Defensive Player of the Year. So we have an expectation. So Washington Wizards having Russell, Washington Wizards having Bradley Beal, they have a certain expectation. And plus they got that I'm not even going to try to announce his name. The Japanese rookie, they had a good pick in the draft.
About
some
the Wizards?
European guy. Yeah, the Washington Wizards. So they had at least a playoff contention looking team. And
some European guy, bro.
Some European guy. Do y'all know his name?
Are you talking?
Do you know his name? Yes or no?
I'll try to pronounce it.
Yes, it's a yes or no.
I have no idea how to pronounce his name.
Thank you.
Are you talking about?
I said a Japanese guy, the Japanese black guy, and I said a European guy.
You're talking about Rui Hachimura?
Hasha what?
Hachimura?
Okay.
Hachimura?
Hashimura.
You're talking about that guy.
Okay.
I mean, because
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And then who's the other guy? Who's the
Can't even
European?
pronounce it.
I'm not gonna try to pronounce it. I just said that.
you talking about Raul Neto?
Sure. Let's go there.
Well, listen, America, they got me trying to pronounce names, and if you know me, that should never happen. But
I'm just saying, like they had an expectation, and when you don't meet that expectation, people are going to say things.
But my only problem with what people are expecting from him, outside of Beal in Westbrook, no name on that roster is rememberable. Can you actually say
Robin Lopez? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm almost slap you out that shit.
I was just acting like Zeke, Nick Van Exel of the Los Angeles Lakers, and
Or
First of all,
Mike Conley.
somebody say
Robin Lopez and the Washington Wizards.
but y'all know the names. But y'all know the names.
That's because we watch basketball.
But y'all know the names.
Because his brother played for the Bucks. We wouldn't even know who he was.
I mean,
if his brother
Slideshow-
played for the
Y'all
Bucks.
know who he was.
So let me just say this. What I'm saying is, you all are putting a lot of stock into a team that's in ninth place, and hold up.
Okay, go ahead.
Hold
I'm gonna
up.
let you finish this.
And we should be praising the teams like the Knicks, who everybody wrote off, including myself.
Mm-hmm.
We should be praising teams like the Phoenix Suns, who are in first place, who I called pretenders, and I still stand by, or second place rather. We should be praising teams like the Utah Jazz, who are in first place. But we're sitting here talking about the ninth place Washington Wizards like they matter. If they get in the play-in tournament, they're going to get bounced in the first round. They're going to get bounced in the first round. So let's not waste. Listen, what is this? That says 14 minutes. We have spent 14 minutes defending the Washington Wizards, who will be an afterthought in 2 weeks when the season's over. Congrats to Russie. He's a baller. Let me finish. Congrats to Bradley Beal. You should demand a trade to go to a better team. But the Washington Wizards, they don't matter. The triple-double matters. He beat the record. He'll probably beat the record this week. He tied it. That is a big deal. But at the end of the day, we want to see Russie be the elite point guard that he is and win championships.
So
hold on a second. Hold on.
And I'm done.
Real quick.
And I'm done.
Real quick. Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors
will beat the Lakers if they play in the play-in
But
tournament.
what position are they in?
They're in ninth.
Okay.
But time out. Whoa.
No, Dre. No, Dre. You went on a whole rant talking about Russell Westbrook, talking about Bradley Beal, talking about they're in the 9th spot. Why should we be talking about them? Why are talking such and such? We should be glorifying these other teams.
Where's the lie?
But then you turn around and talk about Steph Curry like he's Jesus.
Because Steph Curry is playing at an MVP level, as is Russie. Russie broke the record, which wasn't hard to do. But Steph let's not talk about Steph like he wasn't a top 5 candidate for MVP. Russie hasn't been in MVP discussions all year. So if you want to make this a case of Washington versus Bill, throw out the rest of the outline and we can go there too. Because I got a lot to say about Steph.
We're not going to go there. We're not there yet. We're going to get there, but we're not there yet. When they get in the
play-in tournament, everybody better be scared. Yeah, I said it. Everybody better be scared.
We're not there yet, but we're going to get there.
The Golden State Warriors.
For what?
Okay.
We're not there yet, but we're going to get there.
For what?
We're not there yet, but we're going to get there.
For what?
Wait, before we go on, do we even want to comment on the Pacers? I mean, the Pacers were the part of the game of the week.
The Pacers, I talked about the Pacers.
Casey, do you have anything about the players you can't pronounce on that team either?
I think that sums it up right there. But no, the Indiana Pacers. I talked about the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers have a good team, and
do they?
Said, they do.
They're in 10th place.
Andre, just because these teams are 7 through 10, that don't mean they're not a good team.
What does it mean if the play? Wait, time out.
Are you serious right now?
America. I can't do the Bernie Mac voice, but America. In old NBA, if you were beneath the top 8, no one cared. No one cared. Bruh, you know how long we've been Bucks fans and how long they've been so bad? That's what talking about 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th is like. You just call Indiana a good team based on the fact that they have this young gun, Sabonis,
time out.
made it to the All-Star game. Wait.
Go ahead.
Kesey said there's no one memorable on Washington. Who's memorable on the Pacers besides Sabonis?
So you got Sabonis. You got
LeVert.
Oh, he's memorable.
Yeah,
he came from Brooklyn.
Okay,
he was balling when he left Brooklyn.
He had a triple. He had a double.
Malcolm Brogdon.
Who?
Malcolm Brogdon used to play for the Bucks.
Brogdon, who
whatever.
has been injured, who has not played to his potential.
Back and forth.
I wish we would have kept him, but he's not played. Next,
Justin Holiday.
5 points and 1 rebounds, real memorable from that game.
It's not about the stats; it's about what you're doing.
But he just said they're memorable, so we remember. Okay,
and McDermott is not horrible either.
He's not horrible.
Points and 1 assist. Okay,
but you got to remember though, like all of these players are new to that team too, just like other struggling
and just
teams.
Because
like the Los Angeles Lakers struggling.
I said they're a good team. I didn't say they were the best team.
So in
hold on a second. I'll just let you on 2 rants.
Okay,
so
fine.
you talking about. I just
Sips
find it
my
funny.
Water.
I just find it funny that like people like you, because
people like me,
fans like you.
Just say Dre.
Can I finish?
Why I gotta get people like me?
Can I finish?
Dang, that's like you putting. Remember 2 weeks ago you put 50% of Americans in the crack category. Dang,
hey man, check the stats. It's
people like me.
Hey man, it's ugly out there. But the point is this.
You remember that? You remember the crack?
I made a half joke talking about 50%.
Oh, you were serious.
I wasn't serious. Why would I say?
What?
I said 50% of America's on crack. Okay, all right.
That was on the Michael Jordan episode.
I'll give you 44. Close enough.
Either way, it's high.
Or 45. Did that go over your head? 45?
I got it.
Look at this guy.
Go ahead.
The point I'm making is this. When it comes down to talking about teams 7 through 10, and you talk about Washington Wizards ain't nothing to talk about. Why are we talking about Washington Wizards? But then you turn around and give Steph and the Golden State Warriors all the glory, all the accolades, all the media coverage. Steph Curry is a great player. He is one of the all-time great shooters. But we've already talked about this podcast. You cannot put Steph Curry by himself on a terrible team and expect him to go anywhere, because Steph Curry is in that current position, and guess what? They're in 9th.
The Warriors
hold on a second, let me finish. And if they come against the Los Angeles Lakers,
they're in 8th.
8th, 9th, they going back and forth. If they go against the Los Angeles Lakers, guess
They'll
what?
beat them.
They will lose.
They will beat
Listen,
them.
Because you have to shut down one person, and that team is horrible. They have had the most blowouts this season by 20 or more points, and one of those blowouts was by the Los Angeles Lakers.
With
and
LeBron
also
playing.
without AD though.
So what?
Without AD. So that lets you know this team is not even at full capacity and they can get blew out by 20 or more. It was by like 30-something points. And it got down to 20 because they took their foot off the pedal.
Why are you yelling at me, first of all?
Well, first of all, as loud as you talk, I got to yell.
So America, that's true. I have a loud voice. It tends to carry. But the way that he just went after Steph Curry, it's kind of the way he goes after Kesey for LeBron. So now you hate Steph Curry too?
First of all, I don't go after Steph Curry. I don't go after LeBron. All I speak is truth.
No, you speak a lot.
I speak
garbage.
Only did I not speak truth, I spoke facts.
No, you didn't speak facts. You spoke no facts.
That team get blew out by 20 more than anybody. That's a fact. That's a fact.
But that's one thing.
And then one of those seasons by Los Angeles Lakers. That's also a fact. Anthony Davis wasn't playing one of those games. That's also a fact.
Okay.
So these are facts.
But you know what it is about Golden State?
Okay.
Go ahead.
They either they're gonna blow you out or they get blew out most of their games this season.
That's true.
And the only reason they blowing you out,
energy drink and got you hyped up because you.
and
could,
the only reason they blowing people out is because Steph is having one of those nights.
Thank you.
So
thank you. No, now you said
but,
enough.
But hold on, let me finish.
Because I got a lot to say on this. Go ahead.
If Steph is not having one of those nights, they're losing by 30.
So more of a reason to call.
But if you are in the playoff tournament and the Lakers decide, say they play in the Lakers, and the Lakers decide we are going to shut Steph down, somebody else is going to have to beat us tonight.
Okay.
The Golden State Warriors are in big trouble because I don't see nobody on that roster that can put up more than 15 points.
So two, please. So let me say this. Thank you. Let me say this, guys. If the Golden State Warriors play a fully healthy Los Angeles Lakers, then we have a problem. But we're talking about the potential of the Warriors playing the Lakers in the play-in tournament without LeBron, without AD. Schroeder is out 14 games. So he may or may not be back.
14 games, 14 days.
14 days, same thing. The
and
season will be over.
And it's already been like 11.
It has not been 11.
It's been like 7.
You're
but
hoping.
by the time playing tournament time comes,
he won't even be available.
He might be back.
Okay, so this is all I'm saying, people. If you all think that the Lakers, without their 2 stars, can beat the Warriors, I've never smoked anything in my life, but y'all smoking something real good. Okay? If the Lakers are at high force, they'll easily beat the Warriors. But no. Back to you and your rant about why we're talking about the Warriors and not the Wizards. Well, first and foremost, Steph Curry has played MVP ball all season. He's been in the top 5 consideration most of the season. And to Kesey's point, he's done it by himself. At least Russie has Bradley Beal, who's been putting up top scoring numbers. What is this? Look up the top scorers in the league for me.
It's him and Steph.
Him and Steph. So he's been putting up those numbers. And to Kesey's point, if the MVP is supposed to make the team better, and we see when Russie's out of the game or when Steve Kerr is hating and sitting him down so he don't break Klay Thompson's records, then of course Golden State's going to get ran at because they don't have Klay. And you know we can't depend on Draymond. And clearly KD is gone. All I'm saying, bruh, is that the disrespect that y'all put on Steph's name like he's not a killer that can carry a team is disrespectful. When we talk about Russie, wait a second. When we talk about
No, you wait a second. Who you think you talking to?
Shay,
you think you're going to go on a Golden State rant like that? And ain't nobody going to cut you off?
So that sounds like the Bulls conversation we had a couple weeks ago.
But listen, check this out.
I don't like when people say that. And
check this out.
I don't care what you say.
The Golden State Warriors has a way better supporting cast than the Washington Wizards do.
Oh.
Who does?
What?
The Golden State Warriors. If you look at the Golden State Warriors roster, they have way more players that you could depend on than the Washington Wizards.
Name one.
Draymond.
Occasionally.
Oh, no. He's on crack. So we're going to
Andrew Wiggins.
So he's part of that.
Andrew Wiggins has had a pretty good season this year.
What do you consider really good? what do you consider really good? Andrew Wiggins has been
Let's take
more inconsistent than anybody on that team.
Let's take out the really good part. Are you depending on? Let's take out Steph.
What
Are
are
you
you
depending?
talking about
Are you
now?
depending on? First of all, let's just put this out here. I see the outline is going to be all out of whack. But
Who started it?
You?
no, Dre started it.
No, I didn't.
You went on a whole 2-minute rant about why should we be talking about the Washington Wizards? Then I had to shut it
was
down.
the topic.
That wasn't the topic. I was just congratulating them. I was just congratulating Russell Westbrook. Let's get back on topic. I was congratulating Russell Westbrook on his triple-double, passing up or tying up Oscar Robertson's record. I was also saying that the Washington Wizards made a good turnaround during the course of the season, and it should be something to be mentioned. And then you went on this whole rant talking about why we talking about the Washington Wizards and they didn't 9-5 and such and such like that. That's what started it. That's what started.
Well, that was the topic. You brought it. You're the one that brought in the Warriors. You're the one that talk about such and such. So you brought this up.
I did. I've been bringing the Warriors,
and
but we're
going
going
on to the next topic.
Let's move on to the next topic.
But hold on a second. Since he went so hard in on Wiggins, Wiggins is actually having probably career numbers. He averaging almost 19 points.
Those are not career numbers. Did you see his rookie season? Did you see how he balled out in Minnesota? Okay, be careful what you say because those are not
balled out in Minnesota.
Yes, he did when he was a rookie.
Why do you think they got rid of him?
They got rid of him because they knew that he wasn't going to re-sign. So get something for him while you can.
And his rookie season was not in Minnesota.
Cleveland. I'm sorry, Cleveland.
No,
they traded him from. They traded him to Minnesota for Kevin Love. Oh, yes, he was. His rookie season was in Minnesota.
His rookie year was in Minnesota,
and he balled out his rookie season.
Rookie season, he averaged 16 points a game.
But for a rookie, that's not balling out. Didn't he win Rookie of the Year?
No.
Who won it that year? Who won it? That was the same year as Jabari Parker, who did not win it. That was the same year as Joel Embiid, who did not win it. I believe Andrew Wiggins won Rookie of the Year. If not, tell me who won it.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I know I am. Tell me who won it. I may be wrong, but who won it?
I think you're right.
Who won it?
I don't know.
Okay. So let's stack checkers.
Why don't you look it up and see?
Well, I'm about to. So I'm saying that to say
you're
talking about that Andrew Wiggins. You're saying it like he is that he makes the Warriors a much better team when he's a glorified role player.
But he's consistent 18 points a game. That's consistent.
It's not.
I wouldn't depend on Andrew Wiggins to carry the team.
If you look at his last,
without Steph Curry there, the Golden State Warriors are trash.
His last, let's just say, 10 games. 18, 26, 26, 20, 27, 15, 19, 14. Is that horrible numbers?
Those aren't. Hold on a second. Those aren't horrible numbers. But let me just.
And look at this. Up. And then to get it, he's shooting 8 for 13, 7 for 18, 10 for 20, 10 for 19.
Can I ask you something though? Real talk. This is an honest question. Those games, Steph Curry was going off. So if I have to worry about Steph Curry, you can get your little 15, your 20, such and such, because I'm not worried about you. Because I'm worried about Steph. He's going off for 50. He's going off for 40. He's literally crossing the half court line, and he's pulling up. So I'm not worried about you. So my question for you is, Keezy, because you brought this up, are you depending on Andrew Wiggins as a person who can carry this team if Steph Curry has a bad day?
No, because they're clearly in ninth. Well, I'm answering for you before he answers, because clearly they sucked all year.
You're a Steph Curry fan. Can I ask a non-Steph Curry fan?
No.
Can I ask a non-Steph Curry?
No, you can ask him when I'm done.
Go ahead.
Okay. They were doing terrible without Steph. Okay, the games you talking about these blowouts by 30, those were nights when Steph either didn't play or Steph wasn't Stephing. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Now you can ask that the other guy the question. Go ahead.
Boy, he is an ultimate Steph Curry fan, and he is defending him to the core.
Like you do LeBron.
But he got a leg to stand on. He got a leg to stand on.
Who?
Keezy, when you talk about LeBron.
And so, have I said anything wrong about Steph?
The only thing you said wrong about Steph is that they're going to beat the Lakers in a one game.
The only reason the Lakers are in the position.
That's the thing about it. You give all these. I'm probably going to get this word.
The Lakers
have all these stipulations of talking about.
That's actually the right way.
Is it? Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. So you giving all these stipulations to, well, if the Lakers got a fully loaded squad, of course they ain't gonna beat the Warriors. We talking about
But you can
now.
take Anthony Davis out that lineup and Andre Drummond out that lineup and put LeBron in, and they still will beat the Washington. I mean, still beat
I'll give them that.
the Golden State Warriors.
I'll give them that.
I
So you would go.
agree.
So you mean to tell me? God has got to interfere for the Golden State Warriors to beat the Lakers, and you're that excited, you're that for sure about it?
Again,
Because what you're saying is LeBron's got to be out, Anthony Davis has to be out, Dennis Schroeder has to be out, Andre Drummond has to have a limp. So all these actions have got to happen, and then Steph Curry's got to go off for 50, and then the Golden State Warriors can beat these guys in a one-game play-in tournament.
So
that's what you're saying.
So America, if you're still with us and you know whatever he just tried to say, let me sum up what I'm saying. Okay, the Warriors will beat the Lakers in the play-in tournament if there's no LeBron and AD, and I'm standing by that. Yes, they'll beat Dennis Schroeder if he's even back, and Andre Drummond. Yes, they'll beat them. If the Lakers are at full force with LeBron, and even if it's just LeBron, I don't know. I think it'd be a good matchup. But if there's no LeBron, the Warriors will beat the Lakers. I know America doesn't say it, but the Los Angeles Lakers are in trouble.
You want to put some money on that?
Let's do it. How much you want to put on there?
Whatever you want to put.
Let's put $250 on it right now.
Put it.
Let's put $250.
Put it down.
$250 on who you got $250?
You need to write that down, Keezy.
Yeah, $2.50. $2.50 that the Golden State Warriors will beat the Lakers. If they're not healthy.
Right there on the dotted line.
Besides that, this is
sign in America.
Besides that, this is more about bragging rights, if anything.
$2.50.
Oh my God, dude, this is so petty.
That just shows you, America, how much faith he really has in Steph Curry.
No, that
$2.50, and
I mean they're not my team. You know what I'm saying? Steph's a baller. They're not my team.
Hey guys,
and this man makes 8 figures. He just bet me $2.50 on you, Steph. How bad does he really believe in you, Steph?
I appreciate the prophecy. I ain't quite there yet. I appreciate the prophecy. All I'm saying again, America, is these guys don't give Steph the respect he deserves. And if anybody out there thinks that the Lakers can beat Steph without LeBron and AD, I would like to talk with you on one of our threads on social media, because I don't see it happening. At 94 Feet Podcast, follow us on Twitter or follow us on Instagram. That's all I'm saying. If you believe that, holla at me. I'm always up for a good sports debate. In fact, shout out to the big homie, Big T, Terrence Slaughter, who debates me every time he listens to an episode. So, I appreciate that. Let's put it on Twitter. I'm going to start tweeting in a few minutes as we're recording. I'm going to tweet the topic that I just asked. Warriors or Lakers in the first round, or in the play-in tournament. And you can tell us what your stipulations are for that.
I'm taking all bets.
Can we move on, guys?
I'm taking all bets.
Brought this up.
I brought this up.
Just like LeBron started super teams. This is all your fault. You brought this up.
Don't you do it, Kesey. Don't you fall for that. You're stronger than that. Don't you fall for that. Don't you fall for that.
I'm just talking about a man who had 72 wins and went and got KD.
Couldn't help yourself. LeBron? You couldn't help yourself, could you? You couldn't help yourself.
You really going to bring that up? And after what he did and when it got KD?
So, but Steph had.
Can I move on?
No, he just called me out. No. Wait a second. Steph had won without KD. Okay? He had won without KD. Granted, it was against an injured Cleveland, so let's not make this seem like Golden State recruited him. KD got tired of playing with your other boy, Russie, and he needed help to get his titles, and he went to Golden State.
Steph Curry recruited him. Ooh, I didn't mean to say that. I didn't want to say
move
that.
On. He did recruit him.
I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to say that. I'm sorry. I didn't want to.
Where they go to the Hamptons?
Well,
they did go to the Hamptons.
They only did it after LeBron did it first.
Actually, they didn't go to the Hamptons. They went somewhere else.
Well, I'm talking about the super team. They didn't do it until LeBron did.
But LeBron
first.
was in the finals every year, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Guys,
he
guys,
won 4 of those.
guys.
In the finals.
Guys,
He's the GOAT.
guys,
He's the second greatest player ever.
He's in the finals every year.
He is, except for this year.
In the finals every year.
Are they going this year?
Whether he
He
got
might.
Drew Gooden or he got Dwayne Wade, he is in the finals.
Steph Curry ain't
I ain't
lacking.
guarantee you he gonna win them.
Steph Curry not lacking.
can we?
Steph Curry barely making the playoff this year.
Well, this year because there's no Clay, he doesn't have his super team on the
So
side.
what about
of him.
when LeBron James had Drew Gooden?
It was
Come
in
on,
the
man, that was
Eastern
10 years
Conference.
ago.
It was
I'm
in
just
the
saying.
Eastern Conference,
But
and they
they-
got dogged in the finals against the Spurs. So do you really want to bring up the old memories?
Listen, anybody would have got dogged by that Spurs team.
Move us
Would
on,
you really
man.
want to have put Steph up against?
I've been trying to
Would
move
you
us
really
on.
have want to put
You started this.
your Warriors
You started
against
this,
that
right?
Spurs
Happy
team?
Mother's Day, mothers. All the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. Moving
Jesus.
on. No, this is your fault.
This is not my fault. I
See?
tried to move on 5 minutes ago. Y'all kept going back and forth. First, you started him up. Did you start him up?
You brought the Warriors.
Did you start him up?
He knew what he was doing.
Exactly. Did you start him up?
At the end of the day,
Did you start him up?
I'm
Right.
going to answer the question.
Go ahead.
No, because at the end of, the day,
Boy, you gonna throw gasoline draws on.
Because as soon as you said it, I told Kesey, I said, Kesey, don't you fall for it. And Kesey just sucked right in like his quicksand. He just sucked right in.
listen, fam, at the end of the day, when you play the tape back, you're going to say
No.
you started it. Because you,
No.
Keith, admit this, bro. Did he not bring the Warriors into this conversation?
I brought him into the
They
conversation.
weren't even on the script. You
But
brought
we
it
were-
in there.
we
Brought it-
we were
but you're
gone.
supposed to be
We were
quick,
done.
quick, bring up and move on. But you know, hold on. Steph Curry this.
Thank you. Dre just couldn't let it go.
America, do you
And
see,
here we are 33 minutes later.
America, do you see how they're blaming me for this? Wow. I've been saying move on for 5 minutes.
You've been saying move on 5 minutes. Then you gonna start him up?
Go ahead.
How you gonna start the
Go
motor
ahead.
up and then want to walk away?
Well, he shouldn't be so addicted to LeBron. He can have flaws.
Like you addicted to Steph Curry.
Steph Curry has flaws. I've talked about his
What are
flaws
they?
all season.
What are they?
Well, number one, if he doesn't have Clay, they're challenged.
That's
right?
not a flaw of him.
Okay, well, he's a great shooter that misses occasionally.
That misses okay.
You hear this?
You know what? You know what? I
Hey,
thought
talk about me.
Kesey had it bad. I thought Kesey had it bad. You got it bad.
Kesey has it worse than I do.
No.
Kesey said that LeBron was better than Mike. So that automatically puts him at the
All
top.
right, okay, that's one.
Okay.
That's one.
Go ahead. Let's move on, bro. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Leave
Just
it
let
alone.
it go.
Kesey. Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
We
We're done.
We're 50-50
We're done.
here.
That is not what I said. I never said he was better than
What did you say? What did you say? What did you say?
Huh?
What did you say?
You asked me who would I take.
No.
No.
He didn't say was he better.
Should we play the tape?
No, defensive Kesey. This is what happened. This is the defensive
Whoa!
Kesey. Hold on a
I
second.
could've sworn he
Let me
said-
say this. Let me say this. This is what happened.
Let him say it. No
The
talking.
topic was, is LeBron James a better all-around player than Michael Jordan?
And you said yes.
Yes,
He said yes. I agree with him.
And then I got the tape. I'm always ready. And then the questions we asked, we said, so is LeBron your GOAT? And you said yes.
Yeah.
You said LeBron is the GOAT and George's number 2. Tape don't lie.
He did
Go
say
back,
it. You
go
did
back
say it.
and
He
listen
said
to
that.
Jordan versus
So what?
LeBron.
I said it. What you gonna do? Because when I was growing up, I wasn't the biggest Jordan fan.
So you was a Jordan hater?
No, not
Oh,
a Jordan
God.
hater. I was actually more of a Scottie Pippen fan.
I was too.
Yeah, you're a Jordan hater.
I was too.
It's not
Next
a
No,
time.
Jordan
you
hater.
wasn't.
I was a huge Scottie Pippen fan.
Yeah, you was a Scottie Pippen fan, but not big, not more than Jordan.
Never.
I was a more.
Okay, that's what
I
I'm
was more of
saying.
a Scottie Pippen fan than Jordan fan.
Oh God, you're.
I can't wait
He's
to.
talking about 50% of America.
I like-
crack. That's
I
about
like.
right there.
I like the players that do everything.
Jordan did everything that
No,
needed
he
to be
did not
done.
do
That
everything.
needed to be
But like
done
Pippen,
to
players
win.
like Pippen and LeBron are in that same category where their stats are stuffed all the way across the board. You know what I mean?
I'll give you that.
So whose fault is this one? Is this one on me or you?
This on me.
Okay.
This on me. This on me.
Next topic, please.
Can we
Okay,
move
move
Next
on.
topic.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
Oh, you guys are something.
What a Mother's Day special.
I know, right?
So I was speaking while we in the midst of that Steph Curry, Michael Jordan, LeBron James,
Scottie
Pippen, Washington Wizards rant. We didn't even talk about the injuries. A nice little segment we like this. We started doing is talking about the injuries, the injury report, talking about the injuries and how it's affecting the team. Obviously, the number one injury is LeBron James, how he kind of re-aggravated that high ankle sprain he missed like last week. He played one game, then missed the rest of the week.
And they're saying that he could be out another 3 to 4 games?
No, he should be coming back next week. This week coming up, he should be coming back.
Well, they need him.
Anthony Davis injured himself in the game, but he came back the next game. He according to the reports I got or the ones I read, it was his ankle, then it was also back soreness, but no time was missed. He came back the next game they played.
I saw that injury.
And he actually had more than like 20 points that next game.
He stepped on the
announcer table, wasn't
the announcer
table, something like that.
And rolled his ankle. I was like, whoa.
He looked clumsy.
And I wouldn't say clumsy.
Clumsy.
He was like a hustle play.
Yeah,
it was a hustle play. So, but he came back the next game and he seemed fine. They held him out the rest of the game. Zion Williamson injured his left index finger, and he's out indefinitely.
Shut him down.
They shut him.
Their season is done.
Their season is done.
It's been done.
So the GM, which is the former GM of the Cleveland Cavaliers, I think his last name is Griffin. I don't know his first name.
Mm-hmm.
He blamed the refs. He got a $35,000 fine.
I saw that. They went at him.
And then also another big injury is Donovan Mitchell. They pushed his recovery back to another week, so he should be coming back next week too.
I'm starting to think these injuries are excuses to keep players out until it's time for playoffs.
I do think Utah is walking a real fine line, because if you keep a guy back until you get to the tournament or until you get to the playoffs, you are bringing him back for rust. So I think he should come back this week and play at least 2 games, limit the minutes or whatever. So maybe like 20, 30 minutes or something like, 15, 20 minutes, and then he should gradually come back into the tournament, because they do have, they'll either finish the seed at the number 1 seed or they'll finish at the number 2 seed. So, I kind of agree with you, Kesey. Like some of these injuries, I think they're just kind of holding people back. I mean, the unfortunate for the Lakers, like they have to play James, they have to play Anthony Davis, whether they're at 100% or not, because 80% LeBron James is better than a no percent LeBron James. And Anthony Davis, I feel like he can't carry this team by himself. So, with that being said, I agree with you. Like some teams, if you're in a higher position, like that 1 through 5, or even that 1 through 6, depends on the conference, that you can kind of rest your players in going into the playoffs, because Utah is going to have a hard road because I don't think a lot of people believe in them. And same thing with Phoenix. Like if you can, lucky for them, they've had no injuries, but if you can push these guys back and hold them back into the tournament, I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah, and I think we also missed a big one. James Harden's still out. James Harden's out indefinitely.
I didn't speak about James Harden because I think they're keeping him until the playoffs. Last we heard about James Harden, he said he feel like he's going to play before the playoffs. I think he wants to get out there, but they're still talking about that hamstring. Yeah. With James Harden, I feel like
that's a tricky
Brooklyn needs him
to go deep. They need
any
him.
Team out of all the teams. I think Brooklyn needs him more than anybody. Any other team needs their player that's out, because
more than the Lakers.
I mean, we know what the Lakers is, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like out east, I don't see them getting out the East without him.
To be honest with you, I was happy to see it, but when I seen Brooklyn lose back-to-back games to the Bucks, I knew they needed James Harden.
Yeah.
And then they lost another game. They lost like 3 in a row.
They actually lost 4 in a row.
4 in a row. They lost four in a row, and I was like, y'all need James Harden. And at the beginning of the season, that was one of the things where we were looking like, well, not the beginning of the season, but when the trade happened, we were looking like, who is the most valuable player out of the 3? And at first I thought it was KD, but I'm starting to think it's James Harden. Because even with KD scoring 30 and 40 and 50 points a game, even though that's great for chemistry, that's also great for him because he can kind of, get that rust off because he's injured so long. But still, KD put up 50 points, you still lose.
Can go to any team that in the league right now and put up 30, 40, or 50.
Yeah, that's true.
But the problem is he's in that same category like Russie. They don't make their teams that much better by themselves.
That's I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you that.
Because you think
I'm gonna give you
even
that.
when he left Russie to go to Golden State, they were already good.
That's why I'm gonna give that to you.
Fit right in. He's that type of player that can go fit in on any roster.
So this is what I'm going to say. All those injuries are impactful, and I do agree with you, Zeke. If I'm the owners or the GMs, let them sit. Utah's in the first seed, and they'll stay in the first seed. They might fall to the second seed. They get home court advantage, so let them stay.
Utah.
Mm-hmm. I think the biggest threat really is the Lakers. The Lakers need LeBron and AD back at 100% because the Lakers have a tough schedule coming up. They cannot afford to lose any more games. And if I'm the Lakers, I'm trying to really fight for 6 to avoid the play-in tournament. But the only way that can happen is for them to literally win every game.
So my question for you is this, Dre, because I do agree with everything you just said. But with LeBron James pretty much saying, I won't be 100% for the rest of the season.
Rest of his career, he said.
Well, I think he's over exaggerating. We're going to get to LeBron James and his crying ways in a minute. What do you think?
You ain't got nothing to say about that? Oh, okay.
You just show me the glizzy? You finna put what the? You pull out that's where we at? My God, these fans. So my question for you is, like, LeBron James is not going to be 100% for the rest of the season. Would you want him at 80%? Because the Lakers are looking at the play-in tournament. Do you want him at 80%, or do you sacrifice and hold him off for that play-in tournament? Because Anthony Davis is at like 90. I don't want to put him at 100, but he's at like 90, 95 because he had like 30 points against that. Who's that? I can't think of the team that they had like 35 against, but they still lost.
Are you talking about? It was either the Raptors or the Clippers.
The Clippers. It was the Clippers.
Okay.
No, it was the Raptors. It was the Raptors because they got blew out versus the Clippers.
So let me.
That's my go ahead.
I want to answer your question. I want LeBron back now to avoid the play-in tournament because he can get a little rest. He get a little rest if he can avoid that play-in tournament. Because remember, the play-in tournament leads right to the playoffs.
So that's what I'm saying.
There's no rest there.
Yeah. So what I'm asking you is that's my point though.
Because think about
if you play LeBron James now, there's a chance he can hurt and reactivate that ankle.
Well,
but if you wait, he's at like 90% going into the playoffs.
The Lakers coming up.
It's a risk.
The Lakers have the Suns.
They're gonna lose.
They have the Knicks.
They might lose.
They have the Rockets.
They should win.
They have the Pacers. They should
win.
That's
up in the air. That's up in the air.
They should win, and they have the Pelicans. So
they should go 3-2.
They should go 3-2.
At least
if LeBron is playing. If LeBron is not playing, they might go 0-5.
They are 2-8.
They might go 0.
So that goes to that's why I asked you that question. Like, do you play him now? He's not at. He's like
you play him now. You play him limited.
So what if he gets hurt?
You know, I hate injuries for players, but that's a risk that you take in basketball. This is all I'm saying. Let me rephrase the question for the panel here. Is it more important for them to get the 6th seed or more important for them to get in the play-in tournament just to have a spot? Because if I'm a Laker fan, I want the 6th seed and let LeBron rest all next week.
Here's my thing. If let's say the Lakers lose all 5 of those games, that'll probably push them to the 9th seed.
Mm-hmm.
If I can get 100% LeBron James, I'll take that. Because, like I spoke about last week, 100% LeBron James into the playoffs is very dangerous. And LeBron James can turn it on just like that. And once he turns it on, he gets into a mold that is damn near unstoppable. So my thing is I would risk him losing those games to go into the play-in tournament. Kesey, you're the LeBron James fan here. What do you think?
Me, honestly, it doesn't really matter if they're the 6th seed or the 8th seed or the 9th seed or the 10th seed.
So you
as long as I get playoff LeBron.
So what you're saying is you sitting them.
I would.
Okay. Until play-in tournament.
Yep. Because Even if you play in the play-in tournament with LeBron, that's only what.
That's one game.
But that's just getting his legs up under him.
Well, 2 games
For the playoffs.
It's probably 2 games.
The 2 games he'll play in the play-in tournament is to get his legs up under him, getting ready for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what was interesting is they played a clip. They asked LeBron a question. And,
We're gonna get to.
Yeah, is that on there?
I was gonna say that next.
Okay, well, what I was gonna say is he had to eat his words. Because
I want to say eat his words. I think that. Well, let's go to the quote. So the quote is this: words. LeBron James. They asked LeBron James about the play-in tournament.
Are you quoting this year's?
What do you mean?
Are you about to?
Last year's. I don't think it counted. But
what?
No!
No.
I'll do this though. I'll do this. I'll let you find the quote from last year.
Oh, we got to.
And I'll quote.
Controversial.
I'll quote it for this year. This year, LeBron James, when they asked him about the play-in tournament, it was whoever came up with the idea should be fired. Now, I find this very convenient for LeBron James to say, especially when he has to play in the play-in tournament. When he was in first, when he was in second, when he was in third, I don't think he cared. But because he has to play in the play-in tournament, he's like, oh, man, this is stupid, man. Why I got to do this and such and such and such and such. It sounds like to me
he's human.
He's what?
He's human.
Is he? Because it sounds like he could.
That sounds like something you would say.
So
that's not something I would say. Hold on a second before you even go there.
No,
he's not the only guy. He's not the only guy.
I know your kind.
What's my kind?
I know your kind.
What's my kind?
So while they argue over that, in 2020, LeBron said
that was just a year ago. Why are you saying like that? Go ahead.
Because this is why people are all over LeBron right now. He's like a politician right now, where he's flip flopping. In 2020, he said, you got Portland, you got Memphis, New Orleans, and Sacramento tinkering around there. So if there's 5 or 10 games left, why not let those guys battle it out in the tournament? Make them play all other 5 games. And so then this year he says, whoever came up with this needs to be fired.
But that's because they were going into it in the bubble. It was a different scenario when they initiated the play-in tournament last year. Okay. And there was a lot of COVID protocol that went into that.
There's still COVID
and they protocol. wanted teams to actually play and play hard to finish out the season and not just give up because of COVID.
Fair. That's fair. I'll give you that. That's fair.
That's a totally different situation compared to this year.
Okay, so
everything should have went back to normal this year.
So let me ask you this question then. Because that's a fair answer that's a fair answer to his thing, what he just said. But now that LeBron James is in a tournament, he think it's stupid.
You would think it's stupid too if you were in it right now, and you just
going back to your point,
just played a full season without any breaks.
Hold on a second. Going back to your point, same thing with Dallas Mavericks when they were like in 7th seed. He was like, who said this?
Didn't he?
Not Luka, the owner, Mark Cuban. He said it was stupid. I was like, you just saying that because you in the play-in tournament. I just feel like these teams who have a high expectation
with a chance of losing.
Now they have a chance of just getting booted out, or now they have to play an extra game. Now they're crying about it.
And that's why I said from the beginning that I did not like to play in tournament, because folks that have been like the Lakers, and I get it, it's basketball. The Lakers are a victim of injuries. The Lakers were hanging on to the top 3 spot all year until AD went down, then LeBron went down, and then the Schroeder went down. So they're a victim, unfortunately, of the injury bug. I agree with LeBron, but his words are coming back to haunt him because last year he was for it and this year he's not, which I don't blame him. I think that the play-in tournament is a terrible idea.
It was perfect for the bubble. I agree. It was perfect for the bubble where teams have been sitting out. And you didn't want people to just come in the bubble and just be like, there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want them to come in and have something to work for. Something, because they thinking, okay, I still got a chance.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
But when you come into a full season, it defeats the whole purpose of a full season, don't it?
Well, not only that, too, to your point, they took, 3 months off last year before they started playing again?
That's true.
Because no one knew what the pandemic was going to happen, which ended up putting them in the bubble.
Yeah, we still in this penny snatcher.
You know?
So, I think that...
oh, man. Really?
What?
We're feeling the penny snatcher.
You don't like that one? Everybody been saying it's okay.
Go ahead.
I don't get it. Anyways,
yeah,
it went above your head. But the point I think that I always like to play in tournament. I like to play in tournament just because you do have something to play for. Now, teams that are out of playoff contention, I don't really care for it, but it's still one of those things where, like, even
but remember though, before you say that, 9 and 10th would not be in playoff contention if it wasn't for the tournament.
that's true, but like teams like, for example, let's say the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns finished the bubble 8-0, and people thought, man, this team would be great to see in the playoffs, and they still didn't make it because of records and other stuff that happened earlier in the season before the panorama. So it's one of those things. It's one the pandemic, man. The pandemic. So what I'm saying is, oh my God. So what I'm saying is that I think that I like to play in tournament. I like it. I think that it makes teams work harder. I think it takes away from, like, if you don't make this 8th seed, then you're just done, and then all of a sudden you start throwing your season, and you could have had a chance to make it, but you just threw your season. Teams like Memphis or San Antonio, they probably be in rebuilding mode because they was like, what are we playing for? But instead, they're like, hey, this is an opportunity for us young guys to get that playoff experience in and to, kind of work hard towards something, to have a goal. So I like it, but I think LeBron was just crying, to be honest with you. I think he was crying. I think when they asked this question, he was it was right after a loss. So I think he was just crying.
Did anybody see the actual interview when he said it though?
Yeah, I saw all the clips. That's all they've been soundbiting. They asked him a question. What do you think about the play-in tournament?
Well, when he said it, how did he say it? I haven't saw the clip yet.
He said, I think the person that came up with it should be fired.
Was it a sarcastically saying?
No.
Was it like
it was half sarcastic, obviously, because he can't get him fired. But it was one of those things where, like, why would you say it?
Right.
Because, like, LeBron James has this career where everything he does say is scrutinized and analyzed, and like we dig deep into it no matter what he says. He's come up on every podcast. Once he tweets something, it goes crazy just because it's LeBron James. I think we just caught him at a moment where he had something to say about the play-in tournament because he's in it. They just lost the game. He was kind of mad about the loss. It was one of those games that they should have won. And so he was kind of upset about it. I'm not mad. I get it. He's human, but it's just one of those things like, LeBron, you crying.
Well, plus, if it wasn't this year, if they were in 7th place, they could still be in the playoffs without worry. Now, because they've suffered injuries, now the Lakers might be looking at an early exit from the playoffs or the play-in tournament. I mean, it has yet to be seen, but
we'll see.
Yeah.
But with that being said, talking about the play-in tournament, obviously Dre think it's the Warriors, but who do you think is probably the most dangerous team headed into the play-in tournament? Let me just say this: right now, as of today, the 7th seed is the Lakers, the 8th seed is the Golden State Warriors, the 9th seed is the Memphis Grizzlies, and the 10th seed is the San Antonio Spurs. In the East, we got the Boston Celtics in the 7th, Charlotte Hornets in the 8th, the Washington Wizards in the 9th, and the Indiana Pacers in the 10th. So out of those 8 teams, who do you think is probably the most dangerous team?
If they're healthy, the Los Angeles Lakers.
I don't want to hit this. Here's the thing. Because when you say if they're healthy.
You have to, though.
But they're not.
Everybody already know where the Lakers are if they're healthy.
They're dominant.
Yeah.
So
they're not healthy though. That's my thing.
Right now, going to the play-in tournament today.
The Golden State Warriors are the most dangerous team out of the 8 you just named.
You've been proclaiming that all day.
Well, we'll see in a couple weeks, won't we?
Keith, who you got?
I'm going to go with the Washington Wizards.
Okay.
The Washington Wizards are really finishing out their season very strong. I mean,
they're pretty dangerous.
I mean, they started out rough.
They're in 9th place, pretty dangerous. But go ahead.
They started out rough because it was coming to a new season together, fresh team, all the COVID protocols, in the breaks they had like a 3-week break, didn't they? Because of the COVID protocol, didn't they?
Not the whole team, but
Majority of the team, they was at a point where they only had like 5 players.
Yeah, they were. It was a point in time.
It was like 6, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying?
I do.
That's a rough stretch.
It is.
Then
it is.
you bring back your all of your players, and you got to try to gel them back together again.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and that's when they started losing, when the players started coming back. But then once they found their rhythm, then they went on what, 8-game winning streak?
8-game winning streak. Then they were losing very far in between.
They wasn't losing games like they were at first.
Exactly. And then the Russell Westbrook trade and pickup helped them out tremendously, because I think if they'd have kept John Wall, they'd have been in the same position how they started the season off.
All season.
Pretty much, because another subject for another day, John Wall is washed. But it's one of those things where, like, the reason they picked up Russell is because he has longevity and because he makes, I don't want to say make the team even better, but he gets involved the whole team. And so they put these young guys around him who can shoot the ball, who can score from 3 levels, and now it's paying off. And I think that's
and I think that's good. And
it is good.
I think people should give Russie a little more credit for what he do instead of bashing his triple doubles.
I didn't bash him. I congratulated him.
I didn't say you did.
But you looked at me.
You must be feeling guilty. We're in the same room. Who else am I look at?
You look across to the person you're talking to who asked you the question.
I'm talking to us.
So I'll say this.
No,
assuming that are you done?
Did I say I was done?
Assuming that the play-in tournament, I'm gonna take it as a yes. Assuming that the play-in tournament's gonna pick a 7th and 8th seed, is that the plan?
So the play-in tournament is the 7th versus the 8th, the 9 versus the 10. The winner of
both
of the 7th and the 8th.
each other for 7th, 8th.
Yeah.
Okay, but 2 teams are gonna make it from each conference.
Yep.
So I'm going to pick the Wizards and the Celtics to make it out of the Eastern Conference into the play-in tournament to finally get into the playoffs.
Out of the East?
Yep. And then I'm going to – if the Lakers play the Warriors, they both can't make it. So I'm going to go with the Warriors, and I'm going to go with the Spurs. I'm going to go with the Spurs. Now, if the Lakers are healthy, obviously I will change my tune. But if there is no LeBron playing in this play-in tournament, the Lakers might not make the playoffs. And
okay.
I know you don't want to hear
real
that,
quick.
The truth shall set thee free.
Okay, hold on a second, real quick. Hold on a second, real quick. Play-in tournament.
Did you hear him?
I know, but this is how this is going to go. Play-in tournament, why this is how it's going to go. So we have 7 and 8th play each other, and then we have the 9th and the 10th play each other. And so,
go ahead. 9th and 10th.
9th and 10th going to play. So the winner of the 9 and 10 play the loser of the 7 and the 8th. And then one gets the 7th seed, one gets the 8th seed.
Okay.
Which is weird.
Well, it's kind of like the playoffs.
It's kind of like that, but it's just one game. Yeah. And so you're picking the Celtics.
I picked the Celtics.
Uh-huh.
And the Wizards, if the numbers match, if the numbers go correctly, those are the two that I believe that can get it done in the East. And then in the West, the Lakers and Warriors, if they play each other, they're going to cancel each other out. They both can't go, right? They both can't go. So I'm going to go with the Warriors, and I'm going to go with the Spurs. That's if I have my analogy.
Really
if I don't have my analogy down pat, America, forgive me. But as it stands today, as of Mother's Day, the Lakers and the Warriors would play each other, which means they would cancel each other out from the play-in tournament.
But my only problem with what you just said is you said you would pick the Warriors over the Lakers. So even if even if Steph has 50, who else on that roster is going to score that other 50 points?
I mean, let's not act like the Warriors don't put up double-figure points. Like, they do score over 100 points at times, and it's not like Steph's putting up 70 and 80. Yeah, he had a couple, 40 and 50-point games, but to your point, you made the case that Wiggins was helpful. So then let's make the case that Wiggins is helpful again. You made the case
So are you going to take – so my thing is, do you think Wiggins is going to put on a better performance than the Lakers supporting cast? Because we know Steph is going to do what Steph is going to do. Okay. We know that, right?
Listen, I'm not going to take your bait because I'm packing up to walk out. This is what I'm going to say, America. No LeBron, no AD, no Lakers success in the play-in tournament, no Lakers success in the playoffs, and a potential missed playoffs if neither of those players are playing. And that's all I got to say.
And that's all he got to say, people.
Wow. So, real quick. Look, man, for Mother's Day, for this Mother's Day special, we've been wilding all episodes. So I'm just here for the ride.
I appreciate it. I enjoy episodes like this.
I'm just here for the ride.
But you started this whole thing.
I didn't start nothing.
You came in on a billion.
I didn't.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, you came in.
You
came in
on
all
billion.
the way up.
Okay, thank God we don't have behind the scenes cameras because man. Whew.
They almost see me put my hands on you.
Oh man, and then they almost see me do the American History X stump on you, the way you was acting.
American History stump on me?
Yeah, that's how you was acting.
You ain't never heard of that before.
I know exactly what it is. That's why I'm shocked you said it.
Yeah, well, that's how you act.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the 94 Feet Podcast, and I think we're out. We're done.
Check us out on Spreakers, Google, iHeart, Apple, Spotify. Like us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at 94FT Podcast. Like, subscribe, share. Agree with us? Probably not. 94 Feet.
94 feet, good people. Thank y'all.
I love you, mama.